center defensive mids.
And we are underway with kickoff. Syracuse enjoying its best season in a decade. Virginia Tech trying to make the NCAA tournament back-to-back years. A lot riding on this match. Tons of anticipation, and we're glad you made us a part of your Sunday plans. Orange and those blue road kits. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech in the all-pink. It's the breast cancer awareness match. There's Tech on an early counter. Torrey Powell creates space into the box, puts a ball just wide of the post.
Early opportunity to transition. That's what these two teams are going to do. I don't think we're going to see, and right there from the beginning, what Syracuse wants to see is to go back the other way. Get in transition, counterattack quickly, and then force mistakes. When Virginia Tech's defense has it, try and get them in a bad position so you can break quickly. And for Virginia Tech, I think you've got to win some set pieces. They are going to get on the attack, maybe get some corners. You got to win them in the air. And then, of course, containing the star forward up top.
Those are the Browns' basics. So much more fun than just keys to the match. From our Josh Brown. These are two teams that have had a lot of success this year, but as of late, Syracuse 0-3-2 in their last 5 matches. Virginia Tech 0-3-1 in their last 4 matches. Two teams today, not only with a lot on the line, but trying to get back in the win column for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Right, and a lot of those games challenging for both of these teams. Obviously, ACC opponents that they're going up against, it was a tough road. And, I mean, just look down those opponents for Syracuse. There were some heavy hitters on that one, including a Pittsburgh team that has been red hot in their last game.
Pitt Panthers, a team that will make its first NCAA tournament in program history. Just goes to show the ACC, everybody's getting better, including this Syracuse team. There is an opportunity for the Orange. Dangerous moment. First look at Chelsea Dahman today. Good pass through the foot of Blue Ellis. If she makes that stop, she's got a one-on-one opportunity against Lauren Hargrove.
And it all came from a turnover. Pressing high, they got the ball off the Virginia Tech back line, and then they countered quickly. And yes, you made a really good point there. Blue Ellis right there in the box just had, I think she got a little confused. She thought there was someone on her back. She had all the time in the world to turn that and take a shot on.
Blue Ellis, standout player at Vanderbilt, transferred to Syracuse after the 2020 season. And for a Syracuse team with a lot of youth, one of the experienced players. Good exchange from Syracuse until a stop made by Dory Haugen. How many times has Dory Haugen's name been called upon this year for Tech in critical moments? And booted away by the freshman, Shea Vanderbosch. Been one of the stories of the season, stories of the team really for Syracuse this year.
Weren't sure if Vanderbosch was going to be the starter at the beginning of the year. Obviously a freshman. You think a freshman in that position might not be able to step up, and she has been outstanding in goal. Great save percentage. She's been called upon to make a lot of big saves, and Nikki Thrasher-Adams told us she makes incredibly athletic saves. She makes about 2 or 3 a game that it's like, whoa, we needed that save. Outstanding goalkeeper back there.
Tech trying to find Torrey Powell. A space. Taylor Price, good cut. Tried to tap it forward for Mitchell.
You know, and as I look at the shape for Virginia Tech, at least in attack, it's looking a little bit more like a four-back system. McCarthy as a left back, or I should say Matt Graham as a left back and McCarthy as a right back. So kind of a different look than we might have anticipated.
As the head coach of the Orange, Nikki Thrasher Adams in her fourth season. What a job she's done rebuilding this program after a really successful run at Rice.
It has been a massive rebuild project. You and I saw some of the Syracuse teams the past few years and years before that, reviewing the film, and there were a lot of tough years for that Syracuse program.
Ellis tries to play it through for Dowman. A corner kick coming for Syracuse.
I think Nikki Thrasher Adams has now had the time to help build this program, as you said. Once you get to that 4-year mark where you've brought in pretty much all of your recruits, maybe save a couple of players here and there, you've really rebuilt it with your team in mind and the style of play that you want to play with. And we're seeing it come to fruition now, a much more successful season so far for Syracuse.
Ashley Rauch from Reston, Virginia, back in her home state. She takes the corner, and that is over the goal.
And that's one for both of these teams. You got to take advantage of those set pieces. You hate to see one just loft out a play like that. At least put it in the box. Give it a chance for some of these defenders. And we know some of them can come up and connect with some goals. Jenna Tibnan has 2 this season. You can always look for her in the box.
A Syracuse team that has struggled to score in ACC play, but you look at the shots number, they've been super close to putting a bunch of goals away, especially in that first half against Pittsburgh in their last time out.
And that, like you said, that first half, they were so explosive on the transition. It was a lot of counterattacking play, and of course coming from Domond up there, taking people on, not being afraid to just go 1v1. It was almost a one-woman show at times, just on the break, taking people on. And she does have good support help, though. Blue Ellis is able to put some goals away and can step up and do that.
Matt Graham steps forward, gets Tech possession back. Good ball from Price out wide. Cleared away. There's the head coach of the Hokies, Chugger Adair, the all-time winningest coach in Virginia Tech women's soccer program history. 7 NCAA tournament appearances, trying to make it 8 this year.
He deserves all the credit that he gets, and he probably doesn't get enough with all the other successful teams in the ACC.
Hargrove way off her line there, coming out to clear that.
And something I really appreciate about Chugger is we never know what we're going to get from the formation as we start the game, as we come in. It's always creative. There's always a little tweak, and he's not afraid to do that. He's confident in his players and the skill they have, and we see it on display for us today. I figured we'd be a 3-back system. It looks like more like 4 with 2 outside backs instead. So, again, just kind of some different wrinkles. What has stayed consistent, though, is those front 3 up top. You've got Mitchell, Price, and Powell. It's a pretty tremendous triumvirate up there.
And, of course, 2 of them being true freshmen. Natalie Mitchell, Taylor Price. To come in and contribute at the rate that they have, first year in the ACC, it's remarkable.
They are both leading in the ACC, you know, in that upper echelon of goal scorers and assist getters. Mitchell in the assist column and Price in the goal scorers.
Ellis off a takeaway. Threads it through. Good looking shot. That's high. Left-footed strike there in the box. from Kate Murphy, the junior.
Fantastic build-up play from Syracuse. And this time, we saw Ellis drift wide. So her and Damond have that creativity to kind of just switch up their positions, pull the defense out a little bit, and a really nicely weighted ball across the box there. That's one. I think Murphy's going to lean over a little bit more on the next time. Just lean back.
Taylor Price in space. Good recovery from Syracuse's back line. And McCarter made that happen in the midfield.
Good ball up. Taylor Price has a lot of pace, good anticipation from the back line. And they'll have to be aware this entire game with those front three.
No look pass. Nobody there. Chelsea Dahman leads the Syracuse team in goals with 5.
And that's what it's going to take, a team effort from the Hokies back line to contain her. You saw she was able to beat the first defender, get past a second almost, and then lose the ball. You're going to have to, a lot of coaches talk about pressure, cover, and balance. You need the initial pressure, but you really need to make sure that your cover behind you is set in case you get beat, and then you've got another defender sliding over. They'll need to remember those basics throughout this game today.
Now, Chelsea Dahman, a grad student, 2017 to 2020, played at Northeastern. Coach Thrasher Adams told us that she really wanted her experience to be here, gelling with the youth on this team. She's done exactly that.
And they have so much youth. And that's a really exciting piece to the Syracuse team. They've got people, that is staggering to me. We were talking about this before the game. She is tied for leading goal scorer in the season with 5 in these past 5 seasons. And you can kind of see why the Syracuse team has struggled. They've struggled to score goals a lot in these past few seasons and even before that. To have someone like Chelsea who's putting goals away for you and leading that ranking, that's got to be exciting. And you've got younger players who are right there behind her too.
First whistle of the day from our referee, David Reacher. Free kick coming for Tech. Beautiful day, good crowd on hand. Final regular season home match of the year for Virginia Tech. And there are the infamous shirtless boys. They never miss a match.
Just like Thanos, they are inevitable. They will be at every game. And the barking commences. We knew it was coming.
The barking is a new wrinkle this year. It has not been here in previous years.
It's whenever they're on camera too. I do not hear it when they're off camera. It's only when the camera pans to them. So there's something going on. You know, just a little wrinkle to spice things up.
They know when that red light is on. And injured player for Syracuse. As the training staff will come over.
Yeah, Chelsea Dahman going down, and that's one you really hope she's going to be able to walk off under her own power.
We were just talking about her and the impact she's had on this team. Caught up with Matt Graham.
And those knee injuries are, I mean, you plant wrong sometimes, and it can be a painful experience. And hopefully for a player who's been so prolific throughout her career, and then of course for the Syracuse team this year, really hope that she's able to finish out this game.
No doubt about it. And And we're just speaking about how Coach Nikki Thrasher Adams was telling us, I mean, her ability to come in from Northeastern, she really wanted her to be here as that experienced player to help those younger players know what this program is going to be about and lay the foundation. She was so complimentary of especially her last match against Pittsburgh and the adjustments that the Panthers had to make at halftime because of how good she was. And you just hope that, as you said, she's going to be okay, because what a fantastic player, but a great person as well and a great teammate. And great to see her to her feet. And a warm ovation, rightfully so, from this crowd here at Thompson Field.
And we'll see. She's putting weight on both legs, which is good. Might be on the outside of the knee there. And that is an injury I've had plenty of issues with myself. So you think you're okay, and then you'll tweak it in a very weird way. Sometimes it doesn't even take contact, right? Those tendons and ligaments can be tough, and she's jogging. That's awesome to see.
That is fantastic news. Never want to see an injury, but you think about Chelsea Damon, who, again, grad student, final year of eligibility, and there you see last year for Syracuse. Damon, Rauch, Ellis, Tivnan all missed time last year with an injury.
Massive contributors. Players who have, I'd go down that list. I think all of those players have started nearly every game this season and gone almost full 90s in a lot of these games. And Damon back on the field. Great to see for Syracuse. You're going to be able to finish the game. When she first went down, there was a major concern about, okay, is this one she's going to be off the rest of the game at the least? She's back out there sprinting around.
And here she is right here. I mean, that is fantastic. Just one of the worst parts about sports, right? Injuries, and never want to see a player going through pain. That is fantastic. They didn't even have to come off of the pitch. 30 minutes to go until halftime. Again, great to have you on your Sunday afternoon if you're just tuning in. Evan Hughes, Josh Brown, our entire crew from Thompson Field in Blacksburg. 2 matches remain in the regular season. Hokies feeling good about their resume, but would love to have an extra win on there just to be safe.
I think if they get the win today, that really puts them completely over the line. I think if they lose this and they get really battered by Florida State, it gets a little interesting.
Powell unable to get there. Vanderbosch comes off her line.
What a play from Vanderbosch. That's a lot of confidence. Just that cool little touch right to her defender. That's when you think she's just going to clear out. Good bit of skill there with the feet from the goalkeeper. We knew she was good with her hands, but the feet were awesome.
Oh, Shea Vanderbosch, we mentioned it, the freshman who took over for Michaela Walsh earlier in the year. Somebody that Coach Nikki Thrasher Adams told us they worked really hard in the recruiting process to keep her home. She's from Lancaster, New York.
Yeah, a lot of competitive recruiting with a lot of these recruits for Syracuse. A lot of these young players, they have had stiff competition to bring them into this program, and ton of credit to Nikki Thrasher Adams. She has sold the vision of what this program wants to be. Now we're seeing that incremental step to that next level, right? They want to be where that Syracuse men's team is right now, up near the top of the top 25 and competing to get into the NCAA tournament every year.
How about Ian McIntyre, who has guided Syracuse to a college cup before? That's a team that could win the national championship
Absolutely.
this year. Here's Tech. Great pass from Powell. And an even better takeaway. Back line of Syracuse there. Emma Pelkowski, the sophomore, finds Graham. Plenty of space. Graham gives that a go. That was bending just high, but a good-looking shot.
Good shot from the outside. That one had that little bit of dip. If it gets a little bit more, it's one that sneaks over the goalie's head so often. Look at the technique on this one. Yeah, good curler there. She got a good foot to it. I like that attempt. She had enough space to line it up.
Are those one of the more dangerous shots you can face if you're a goalkeeper?
Yeah, if you're a goalie, and not saying Vanderbosch is inexperienced. She's got a ton of experience. But if you are an inexperienced goalie and you're just, kind of waiting for a normal shot to come at you, a lofted one can catch you unaware, especially if it's one from a defender who you don't expect to pull it from that distance.
Both teams have had a couple of opportunities. The best one so far came from Syracuse. Kate Murphy had a pretty wide open look.
It's a great build-up play from Syracuse. And I think we'll see this kind of prodding and transition play from both of these teams as we continue to go here. Both of these forward groupings for both teams are going to get a lot of opportunities.
Ellis, good touch. Plays it forward, but DeMond is offsides.
That was closer than I expected it to be. The flag went up right away, but man, Mond there she was towing that line. That was good awareness. She was almost even with that last defender.
Seems like a very balanced first half so far from both squads.
So far, neither of them really committing a ton of defenders forward. It's been just get the ball to our forward line, let them kind of build the attack for us and see if they can get something in transition. I expect as the game goes on, it might even open up a little bit more.
Hard challenge and a foul. Price tangled up with a back line of Syracuse collapsing in. Emma Klein involved.
And this is a good area to kind of reset and get something in. I actually expected Virginia Tech to go into the box with that ball. Surprised to see the short one played so quick.
Tech collapses and creates the turnover. Here's Graham, who will get forward. Great cutback. Sneaks by Mochtons. Now space for Tori Powell. Out wide. And a big service. Corner kick coming.
And that's one where we see Graham get that opportunity to run forward, take a player on. And you saw how it opened up so much because it pulls a defender out of position. Virginia Tech's able to swing the field, and now a corner kick opportunity. I feel like we're going to see Matt Graham a lot. I've always enjoyed watching her overlap and come underneath from that outside back position.
Emily McCarter, one of the vets on this Hokie squad in her final season, will take the corner. And a foul on Virginia Tech in the box, going the other way.
There were two players crowding the goalie out on that one, so take your pick on that foul. Vanderbosch was not given an opportunity to go up and get that. That's exactly what the Hokies are going to try and do, though. Put some players right there and put the ball right into the box. Good effort by Vanderbosch, despite the foul.
This is a Virginia Tech team, year in, year out. Very physical team that'll be near the top in the conference in fouls.
I hear that from almost every coach we talk to in pregame interviews. They call them gritty, aggressive, physical, right? Everybody's used to that style of play. That's what Chugger wants this team doing. Hey, let's win some balls. Sometimes it'll lead to a foul.
And here's an opportunity for Syracuse. Diamond Hargrove there. Dives on it off the rebound.
We knew she would be the danger woman up top, getting the opportunity to go 1v1. Good ball over the top there to Springer, and she just has that pace. You cannot teach speed. And way to keep it low. That's an excellent save from Hargrove to get down to her left. Even though it was pretty close to her, a lot of goalkeepers would let that slide right under them. That's a great play from both players.
Chelsea Demond will be all over the pitch for Syracuse. She slots that through. One-on-one opportunity might have been deflected. Pauline Mochtens gave it a go. Syracuse applying pressure.
And it's all coming through the player we knew that all of these attacks would spark through. Diamond has been really aggressive. Knee injury that we saw a little bit earlier, no effect whatsoever. She's still as scary as ever running at defenders.
Pelkowski plays it out wide. You can hear Coach Chugger Adair. Tori, be ready.
And she usually is in very good position in the box.
Great footwork here. Trying to find Tori Powell, the junior from Haymarket, Virginia. Someone so athletic, powerful, strong. Had the game winner against North Carolina. That was the last win the Hokies have had on October 1st. Ellis unable to turn the corner. There's Dory Haugen.
Good build-up play again from Syracuse. Exchanges, passing. The movement's really fluid. Their forward line really has that freedom to interchange with one another.
Tons of space here. Here's the cross just high. Good cross from Blue Ellis. Now Grant sends that in. That's chipped out of harm's way. Klein plays it back. Syracuse comfortable with keeping possession. Good decision there from Tivnan to come play that forward. Damon for Grant. Service has somebody there. Ellis gives it a go, and that's wide of the net.
Great service in from Grant. That one was perfectly to Ellis over McCarthy's head. And the build-up play from Syracuse there, it started with an aggressive interception from Tivnan, and then Tivnan played it forward to get things rolling for the Syracuse Orange team.
Good coverage from Riley McCarthy there, drawing her second consecutive start.
McCarthy, she's got to be on her toes today. Again, not a ton of starts this season, but she's played so much. She's seen action in so many games. She knows what to do back there. But it's a different thing applying it in a game that you really need to keep goals out of the back of the net. And Gogol losing the headwear, but winning the tackle. We knew that Gogol and Klein were going to be those defensive midfielders who would win tackles in the center of midfield. And Gogol's that type of hard-nosed player. I think she embodies that style of play for Coach Chugger Adair.
Great pass up ahead for Syracuse. The combination pass in the midfield started with Ellis. Good opportunity and a corner kick coming.
And these three forwards for Syracuse have simply just switched positions whenever they feel they can make a little combination that's unexpected. Mochtens that time going out on the left. She's playing on the right wing, but it doesn't matter. When you're free-flowing like this and creative, they've sparked a lot of good interchanges. And now set pieces for both of these teams we knew was going to be important.
Second corner of the afternoon for Syracuse. Hokies try to officially clear it. Pelkowski down the touchline. There was contact. Play on. Ellis wins possession back. Rauch. Service, and that's where Hargrove excels on the crosses.
I thought for sure Pelkowski was going to get free on that wing. Ellis, the center forward, tracking all the way back to make that tackle.
Demond off a deflection. Kylan Grant unable to get by Matt Graham.
I did not expect to see this much possession in either attacking third. I thought it was going to be a little more open, just transition play. Syracuse's past 2 minutes, they've exchanged really well in the attacking third. Good build-up play. The attack has been extremely dynamic. I think when you look at it on paper, you know you're coming into Blacksburg. You expect Virginia Tech to be kind of bossing around the possession. Not so. This Orange team looking very motivated.
Ashley Rauch from South Lakes High School, about 2.5 hours away. That's the second time off the set piece. Hasn't given her teammates a chance in the box.
I think Rauch will lock in now after that one. Every time you see it go out of play like that, you're kind of thinking to yourself, okay, now I'm going to get right back oriented. Now that she's done it twice, if she takes that corner kick again, I think it's going to be perfectly driven in.
There's Coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams. What's going through her mind right now? What have you seen from the first half? What do you think her thoughts are at the moment?
I think she's got to be extremely pleased with the defensive side. They haven't given Virginia Tech hardly any looks as far as counterattack opportunities go. And then from the offensive end, the interchanges between her forwards have been fantastic.
Natalie Mitchell, the freshman, creates space. It's off the crossbar. Nearly had a sensational goal.
Mitchell almost did it all on her own. We haven't seen a lot of great interchange between these players, but man, Mitchell, what a hit from outside the box.
That'll get the crowd going, and Syracuse has had momentum here the last 5-10 minutes. That's a big possession from Tech.
Almost broke that momentum immediately. Fantastic run by Mitchell. It was a 1v1 opportunity. Oh, man, and that almost perfectly curled over the goalie. Similar to Matt Graham's attempt that was over the goal earlier.
Natalie Mitchell, Temecula Valley's 2022 Female Athlete of the Year. And here is the big three, Price, Powell, Mitchell. Always dangerous when they're on the ball.
A terrifying trio. A tenacious triumvirate. I'll figure out some more alliterations later, but they're really stinking good at putting goals in the back of the net. It's been an exciting front three for Virginia Tech this year.
Now Demond on the other end has space, cuts back. Demond keeps possession alive and then finally cleared away. And now Powell. When she's in open space, so tough to catch up to her. Threads it through. Mitchell with a great look and the recovery for Syracuse.
What a tackle from Jenna Tivnan, sliding over from the center back spot. I did not think she was going to recover. The idea on the attack from the Hokies was perfectly executed. Powell, the slotted ball across, I thought it was weighted really well. And Jenna Tivnan showing why she is that center back that can do it all for you. Look at that.
Jenna Tivnan from Easton, Massachusetts. Well, someone that Coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams told us when she got here, she could have looked to transfer. And when anytime there's a coaching change, you're a freshman, you've got all that eligibility left. And she said, give me one more year. 1 year. And I think both parties are very glad that Jenna Tivnan gave Syracuse 1 more year. She's been fantastic.
I think they're both pretty happy with the arrangement. And now if you're Tivnan, last year you look back at it and you can say, I was part of that program rebuild. And if they get better and better these next couple years, it's like, yeah, I helped get them back in that national conversation.
Fun matchup here. Demond and Haugen. Well, too wide and high. Another effort. Ellis unable to play that off her chest. Good pass into the box. And back and forth we go. Both teams putting together great possessions in the final third.
It's been a fun start to this game. A lot of shots for both teams and just kind of countering each other as we go. And now we talk about set pieces all the time. Can this be a really good ball into the box? Virginia Tech has a lot of height from their defenders. We've seen Syracuse take advantage of a few of these throughout the year.
Syracuse has struggled on corners today. Pretty good one here, just outside the 6-yard box. Contact, foul on Syracuse.
That service into the box was great. I think Virginia Tech getting to that ball first, Visage did a great job. That is sacrificing your body for the team. She put herself in harm's way on that one.
Yellow card issued to Syracuse, number 27, Grace Gillard.
And as you just heard, yellow card coming out. First one of the day from our referee, David Arecher. Grace Gillard, player we have not talked about in this first half, key piece for Syracuse.
The center back partner to Jenna Tivnan. Gillard is an outstanding talent. Someone we've talked already about recruiting competition. Someone else who had a lot of recruiting interest, I'm sure, from ACC teams potentially. She played with the Arsenal women's youth teams. She's played with England youth national teams. Anytime you get a player with national team experience and club experience of that level, you know you're going to get a well-rounded player coming right into your program. I'd say she's fit pretty well there next to Jenna Tivney this year.
Just over 10 minutes left until halftime. Two teams that really need 3 points. Virginia Tech feels good about its resume, could use an extra 3. Syracuse needs this win, needs a win likely against NC State. Final week of the regular season in the ACC. Powell. Johnson gives that a go. That's just high.
A lot of good shots from outside the box in this first half. This time Johnson, and there was actually a goal from Gabby Johnson earlier this year of similar quality. It was outside the box and just a rip that she put in the back of the net. She's definitely capable. And that's the fun thing with these subs for Virginia Tech. Got a lot of firepower coming off the bench.
And Taylor Bryan has just checked in for the Hokies. She has scored 4 goals in the last 6 matches for Tech. Of course, headlined by that Virginia match last week. Hokies were down 3-1 with 10 minutes to go. Bryan got them within 1 and then had the equalizer with 30 seconds left. And there's another yellow card.
Gogol just leaving the foot in there a little bit. You know, I think that one's a little tough. I think that's Gogol's first foul. I mean, it's late for sure. A little harsh on the yellow, in my opinion. Just the free kick, but I'm not the referee. I'm not the one getting paid to referee in the middle of the field, so we'll leave it to him.
Murphy on the free kick. Connects with Rauch. Trying to find Damon. Really like that set piece.
Yeah, you can tell they drew that one up on the training ground, tried to get it going quick. It was a good ball in, just put away by Virginia Tech and cleared.
Up top, Damon got a right foot on it. Hargrove makes the stop. Well, Virginia Tech, very dangerous with the trio we talked about, of Price, Powell, and Mitchell. But look at these game changers off the bench. It's a huge advantage for Chugger Adair's squad.
you get to rip and replace your 3 forwards who are outstanding with 3 forwards who are very dangerous. And then Gabby Johnson playing in midfield can also put goals away for you and get some assists. It's a really great... You've got to give credit to Chugger Adair. The recruiting to get these types of players in who might not know when they come into the program if they're going to be a secondary player or someone who's starting every single game. They could maybe get upset about that and say, well, I'm not going to play as hard. I'm coming off the bench. None of these Virginia Tech players are made that way, especially this girl up top. She has been outstanding this year. Taylor Bryan, she's been a spark plug, absolutely.
Had the equalizer against North Carolina about a month ago, and then what can you say about that Virginia match? 2 goals in 10 minutes. Key result for the Hokies.
They have needed her in so many crucial spots this year. If they do make the tournament, they get a win or 2. She's shown she's come on at the right time this year. I wouldn't be surprised to see her on that stat sheet at the end of one of those NCAA tournament games. She stepped up in the prime time under the lights.
Missed a good chunk of last year with an injury and enjoying a big-time bounce-back year. Tons of space. Sophie Maltese, also dangerous, finds Bryan in the final third. Bryan, the service. Pelkowski got a head on it. Ball still dangerous and finally scooped up by Shea Vanderbosch.
And it is so much fun to watch Taylor Bryan off the ball. I was watching her the entire time in that build-up. She peeled off the defender and kept along with the back line to stay onside, and then the ball swung into the box. You've got Allie George in there, Maltese. Pelkowski was the one who got onto it to poke it back in towards those forwards. If you're able to provide quality service to either one of those forward players, they're very good in the air and can put it away.
Under 7 minutes until halftime, but this is where matches can be won or lost.
Right before the half. It's always the most dangerous time because the momentum shock of giving up a goal or scoring one is incredible.
Johnson slipped. Possession kept alive. That'll be a corner kick.
And in these situations, I really like to see an Allie George in there. You've got Lauren Gogol, and of course you bring up your center backs too. Right before the half, like you said, this is prime time for a good service in and heading it away.
Syracuse stands tall. Not a bad corner kick, kind of a low line drive, gave Virginia Tech a chance to put a header on goal.
What a recovery there from Pelkowski on the defensive end to get that ball back and start the attack again for the Hokies.
Maltese, wide open, Taylor Bryan, right-footed strike in, Vanderbosch corrals it, her best save of the afternoon.
A fantastic save from the goalkeeper. Not only getting down to that very difficult to save low drive on goal, but keeping it and not allowing it to spill out. Look at that. Chomping right at the bit is Allie George, and she corralled it. Kind of a one-hand palmed it. Odell Beckham going down and getting it.
Great reference, of course, Giants, Syracuse, New York.
I actually don't want to think about New York football teams right now.
Oh, the Packers fan in Josh Brown.
Sad day losing to 2 New York teams in a row.
Look at Shea Vanderbosch. Second in the ACC in save percentage. Third in saves per game.
And that one, a crucial one. And that's something that Coach Adams told us. Vanderbosch has made a couple of incredible game-saving saves like that.
McDermott works the corner. Maya McDermott, the freshman from Harleysville, Pennsylvania.
And now we're seeing Syracuse's reserves in the forward positions come on and make an impact. McDermott, one of those players. Aaron Fleury has seen a little action as well.
Fleury, a player with 4 goals on the year. That's the second best on this Syracuse squad. And that corner on top of the goal.
Fleury's seen a lot of starts for this team, for Syracuse, but in this one coming off the bench, so you get one of those usual starters who can score a lot of goals coming off the bench. That's a good dynamic change you can make to impact your offense.
Pelkowski comes off. Ella Valente just checked in for the Hokies. Does Tech have something left here in the first half? Allie George tries to turn the corner. Good recovery from Emma Klein.
Great tackle. Klein, we talked about it in the open, a player who's going to put her body on the line for you, really get stuck in on some challenges. That's an excellent sliding tackle. Now, if you're Gabby Johnson on this corner, I think you're going to look for one of your big center backs running in.
They're running in right now, and that's through! The Hokies capitalize on the corner kick!
And I think that's Gabby Johnson with the goal credit there. That's an Olympico. I think it dropped right in. The defender, if the clearance went in the back of the net, it was going in anyway. I think that's a Gabby Johnson goal.
That would be unbelievable and would be, without question, a SportsCenter top 10 goal. She's celebrating like it. Did Gabby Johnson just pull this off?
Let's watch this. This is dropping in. I think that's in anyway. That's a goal.
Here's a
Gabby
great look.
Johnson, take your credit.
Gabby Johnson, that is unreal. One more look.
That was in already. I think that was over the line already. Defender or not, that's a Gabby Johnson goal. Wow. Incredible.
One of the hardest things to do in soccer. Gabby Johnson, the Delaware transfer. That's unbelievable.
Is that the best goal we've seen this year?
Yes, I would have to say. I mean, that or a bicycle kick, those are incredibly hard.
We saw a great goal. You called the North Carolina game where that goal to beat Carolina was outstanding, but the individual skill, incredible from Johnson.
Syracuse on the other end, staying dangerous, but can't connect up top.
I'm staggered, and we talked about right before halftime how important that is, and you've got to give a ton of credit to Johnson. Also credit the drawn-up corner kick there from Virginia Tech. Every corner kick they've put defenders in front of the goalkeeper to screen her, and just couldn't get to it. That was so perfectly dropped. That's one that seems like it's coming from the sky, and you can't really see it well. Oh, man. I love that goal. Absolutely incredible.
I initially thought it might have been deflected off that Syracuse defender there, but she was standing well beyond the line in the goal. Tech, not done yet. Bryan, great cut. Bryan with space. Taylor Bryan off of the post.
What a run from Taylor Bryan. That almost would have been as impressive as the first goal.
This crowd is fired up. Such an important match for the Hokies, trying to pick up its 4th conference win of the year. Right now on the outside looking in of the ACC championship. These two matches mean so much. And to score a goal like that with all the anticipation surrounding it, you can only imagine what's going on through that Tech bench, their minds right now.
No, now you've got to look at it for Tech. Oh, man, that would have been an incredible solo effort from Bryan. If you're Tech and you're the bench and you're the coaching staff, obviously you want to finish out this game, but you start thinking about Florida State in your next game as well. What does the future look like if you're able to get both of those 2 wins? never know, they could sneak into that number 6 seed in the tournament.
Still 45 minutes left against the Syracuse. Win on Thursday. It just goes to show the strength of the conference, Josh, that you could be 500 in the league, and that's a really good mark.
A very good mark. We talked about it. Those top 6 teams in the ACC are top 10 teams nationally. If you're able to get half of it, like you said, if you can go 500 and get some wins against some of those programs, it's like, hey, we're doing excellent this season.
Well, Syracuse played a really competitive first half, had a couple of great chances. Their back line was phenomenal. What do you think the biggest message at halftime was from Coach Nicky Adams?
I think it's continue being creative up top. Interchange, don't be afraid to play loose and play a little free.
Great ball from Johnson trying to connect with George.
And interestingly, Syracuse with a different look up top as well. 2 players that subbed on, McDermott and Aaron Fleury, are going to be the starting forwards for them. So kind of a wrinkle, and they're playing right now as 2 forwards instead of the 3 line that we saw. Mockton's dropping a little bit deeper to help out the defense.
Johnson, the service. Bryan comes forward and too high on the header.
I tell you what, though, Taylor Bryan has been so hungry for more goals. You can tell getting a few in this season has really spurred her on with more confidence and more momentum. It's like every time she gets in the box, it seems like she's going to put another one away. When we talked with Chugger Adair, he was so happy to get her back, get her playing regularly, and he's super happy for that player getting some goals.
We'd been mentioning it in the middle part of the season. She had been so close. She had been knocking on the door. And since that goal a couple of weeks ago, it's almost like it's the one she needed to see through. And she had 4 goals in her last 6 matches.
Goal scoring is such a confidence game. Once you see that one go in game, you realize, oh yeah, I can do this. They do it in training all the time, and you score so many goals in training, it's hard to kind of get that switch flipped to start doing it in the games. Taylor Bryan has found the switch, and not only has she flipped it, but I think she's kicked it, probably a bicycle kick in the back of the net.
Here is McCarthy. Johnson with space. She's playing with confidence right now. Turns it over. And Hargrove well outside the box there coming forward. Let's revisit our keys to the game, known as Josh Brown's, his basics.
Yeah, for Syracuse, I think the counterattack, they did well. They transitioned, and they were able to force some mistakes from the Virginia Tech defense. I'll actually give them 2 checks there. And then for Virginia Tech, you talk about set pieces. Oh boy, did they execute on the set pieces. You can't ask for much more of a check on that one. And I don't even remember what my second one was for Virginia Tech, to be honest with you. And I missed it on the screen, so. And you know, Demond, my second key, as I look down at my notes, actually, Trevor giving me the cue from the back there. My second key for Demond, she was able to kind of go against this Virginia Tech defense a little bit. She didn't score, so I guess they get a half check on that one. But she's looked very bright for Syracuse. I don't think there's a lot of defenses who can contain her for an entire game.
And if you're just tuning in, Chelsea Demond went down with an injury, was down for a minute or 2. A little worried that she might have to exit the match. She stayed in, and since she has stayed in, she's been a difference maker, hasn't skipped a beat.
She looked as explosive as she started the game, and now she's going to get a little rest on the bench to start this half, and she's going to come back on. I like that decision from both coaches to rest their starters here at the start of the second half.
Well, this is a Syracuse program closing in on its first winning season since 2012. That's a big step for Coach Adams in the rebuild process this year. She's starting to see all of that hard work really pay off.
And they certainly have a chance to do it. they've been so close in so many of those games they've lost as well. It's been 1-0, 1-0. They've kept it close with some of the bigger teams in the ACC.
Bryant's asking for it, was waving her hands. Pelkowski keeps it low, but nobody there.
I like that thought to keep it on the ground, but it was behind all of the onrushing attackers trying to go into goal there. And like we said, that spark from those players, they're really playing with some energy, wanting to get in on the end of a cross.
Monctons. Big ball up ahead. Trying to find a very talented player, and Aaron Fleury. Again, came off the bench in the first half. 4 goals on the year. Someone who missed time last year with an offseason injury. And I thought Coach Adams had a great word to describe her in our coach's call. She called her a train because she just runs through people.
I love players like that. There's a few every once in a while you just see, and they have that style where it's just going to run through a brick wall. She's certainly capable of doing that.
Tech on the other end. Great cutback. That ball knocked down, and Vanderbosch hangs on to make a tough save.
That's such a smart cross in from Pelkowski. Keep it low. It's in that in-between area where goalkeeper lets it go. It might go into the back of the net. She's got to get a hand on it. Players rushing in from the back post, and Vanderbosch again, kind of one-hander, corrals it, and does a nice job once again. What a move by Pelkowski, though.
Syracuse getting ready to make a couple of substitutions. Long run. Vanderbosch well off her line, no problem.
Good aggressiveness. Maltese had a ton of space if Vanderbosch doesn't come off the line. That's good goalkeeping.
And the throw-in. Great tap back pass. Beautiful footwork from Pelkowski yet again.
She's had a couple of opportunities on the edge of the box now, and just that quick little cut to get by some defenders. She's got enough pace, too. She can beat you 1v1 with just speed, but that time, the close control, very nicely done.
Couple of throw-ins for Tech, far end of the pitch.
We haven't seen the outside backs get as forward as maybe they have with other Virginia Tech games in the past. And I think it's just a little bit of a wrinkle that the forwards are just kind of getting the ball at their feet and turning and going. I'd like to see McCarthy and Matt Graham get in the attack a little bit more in the second half.
Bryan with space, got by 2 defenders. Maltese got a touch. Great work from Syracuse, collapsing in. Great defense.
Another individual run by Taylor Bryan, just cutting in between 2 defenders and then playing it to Maltese's feet. A good collapse there by the Syracuse defense.
Virginia Tech pressuring in Syracuse's own half of the pitch. Syracuse can't quite clear. Johnson. Tons of space. Finds McCarthy, who is coming forward here. Now Syracuse in transition. Rauch boots it ahead. But nobody there.
No numbers forward. Only one forward even close to the back line of Virginia Tech. That was Fleury. And that time, the transition just wasn't on to play that direct ball quite yet for Syracuse.
Somebody we haven't talked a lot about today because she hasn't had to make a ton of stops. Lauren Hargrove in goal for Tech.
Hargrove hasn't had a lot to deal with yet. A couple shots, but nothing too acrobatic yet in between the pipes.
Syracuse's best luck on goal, Kate Murphy. Great cross in. Had a good look, maybe 15 minutes into the first half.
And they're going to switch up that attacking shape and I think the attacking players here in a couple minutes to see if something else can be sparked for them.
Here are those subs that'll come on for Coach Nikki Adams, and it includes Chelsea DeMond.
And another exciting freshman prospect, Gianna Savella, from New York as well, so recruiting from the backyard.
Savella, somebody who's taken a couple of shots last few matches. McCarthy. DeMond turned right into a Hokie defender. It'll stay with Syracuse. Midway through that first half, Josh, Syracuse was really good at building possession through the attacking third. Feels like either Virginia Tech's made some adjustments or they've gotten away from that a little bit.
I think Syracuse has not connected the passes as well. It sort of just seems like they're not presenting as many midfield options to interchange with one another, and they're not getting it into a position where they can build from their forwards either. Their forwards aren't coming back to get the ball, and that's something that Chelsea DeMond does so well. She kind of demands the ball and is able to hold it up to give your midfielders an opportunity to join you in the attack. And so far, just not that same connection from their forwards. And Lauren Gogol has been instrumental in stepping in front of those forwards and cutting out those types of passes as well.
Bryan clearly offsides. Getting extended minutes as we saw both coaching staffs keep a couple of their reserves on to begin the second half.
And the Syracuse shape, to me, has changed a little bit as well. Looks more like two forwards at times, and then Mockton's comes to join them. But, I don't know, almost like a 4-4-2 now with Fleury and DeMond up top. So I think it's a way to play a little bit more direct, but it has changed the way they've attacked a little bit in this second half.
Mockton's great pass. DeMond gets by Haugen. Hargrove dives on it. Dangerous moment for Syracuse.
What a poke from Haugen. DeMond did an excellent job getting her body in the way, and I thought she was away. I thought if Haugen was going to get a tackle in, it would have been from behind. It would have been a bad foul to give away. Somehow able to just get that poke around the body of DeMond and win the ball back for Virginia Tech.
Numbers ahead for Syracuse in transition, but fantastic recovery. It's a Hokie team right now defensively without Ina Wernen. Did not play last match. Have not seen her yet today.
She's such a good contributor with the ball at her feet as well.
Kept low. Chipped away, and it's well covered from Syracuse backline collectively. Great weaving through traffic in space, and an easy foul. Clock will stop.
And I think the foul is going against Syracuse. I think they're calling that Fleury handballed that and Coach Adams going to get a yellow card for her trouble? Clearly doesn't agree. And I don't agree with that either. They called Fleury for the handball, but she was clearly fouled by Virginia Tech, in my opinion.
So they're saying the handball occurred before the foul.
The handball occurred after she was fouled, but the foul was not called. So she fell to the ground under the contact and handballed it. That is a shot, a pretty surprising foul call, in my opinion.
Well, Coach Nikki Adams right away. Man, there was clear contact.
Wow, yeah. I'm surprised Syracuse didn't win the free kick there, and then in my opinion, Coach Adams getting the yellow card. As a player, you like to see that your coach has your back.
Long run forward. Vanderbosch comes out. Contact in the box. Penalty kick. And a yellow card.
Absolutely the right call in that situation. Allie George got to the ball first. What an outstanding sprint there from George. That ball looked like it could have just drifted out. Vanderbosch could have been the first to get there. Oh, and taken out. Yeah, that's just a tough bang-bang play. George had the quicker first step to get there. She wins the penalty for her team. And that's one you might get the wind knocked out of you on that one. That's a hard collision, both players sprinting for it. As so often with this Virginia Tech team, players sacrificing their bodies for their teammates. Another example of it there. First touch to it. Yep, Vanderbosch late coming in. Pretty easy foul. And yellow card. Now, the question there is, you see how close to the edge of the box it is. That was close enough. Man, if you're Syracuse and you're a Syracuse fan, you've got to be upset about, first, that non-foul call in the yellow card on Coach Adams, and then coming the opposite way, that's borderline. That's on the edge of the box. I'd probably be thinking, man, we've had a tough time of it here with these calls going against us here.
You mentioned him in a crucial 60 seconds. And our referee, David Arincher, hasn't blown his whistle a ton. There were a pair of yellow cards in the first half, a couple of ticky-tack fouls, nothing egregious. And there you see him talking with Coach Nikki Adams. That's great to see on her feet. Allie George, the sophomore from Louisville.
Allie George, such a great contributor off the bench. And you see it for her, the sophomore. Got some time last year, getting those same quality minutes coming off the bench again this year, and this year finally putting some goals away. Last year was not able to get on the score sheet, and now you can kind of see the game building for her as her career goes on with Virginia Tech. She'll have a lot more goals throughout the rest of her career with the Hokies.
Less than 30 minutes left. And what almost could have been a free kick situation for Syracuse about 60 seconds ago. Now, a yellow card on Vanderbosch and an opportunity for Tech to go ahead 2-0 in a critical match for the Hokies.
And I'm still not convinced that this penalty kick should have been a penalty kick. It was right on the edge of the box. Again, if I'm Vanderbosch and I'm the Syracuse team, I'm like... And Gogol's setting up as if, okay, I thought it was a PK initially. It looks like they're setting up for the free kick. So, in my opinion, it was right on the edge of the box. That's got to feel good if you're a Syracuse fan.
And a new keeper comes in for Syracuse. Michaela Walsh, the senior from Florham Park, New Jersey, has been a key contributor on this Syracuse team for many years. Tons of experience. And comes in a huge moment for the Orange.
We know an injury to Walsh opened that door for Vanderbosch this season to get a lot of quality minutes. But so much experience from Michaela Walsh, and someone who can stand back there and do just as well as Vanderbosch. Vanderbosch has looked outstanding this game on a couple of saves.
Free kick, well high, off the left foot of Lauren Gogol. How about Michaela Walsh coming in off the bench, even though she didn't have to make a stop on that play? It's like a pinch hitter coming in a tie game in extra inning. That's a you trust your senior coming in that moment.
You've got to be ready to go and on the spot in case you need to make a save. So I'll be interested to see when she gets one in her hands on an actual shot, how she's feeling when she's able to get that first one. But I'm not crazy, right? We both saw the referee point toward the general direction of a PK spot.
Here's Syracuse on the other end. Long run from Haugen. She knocks it down.
What a play from Haugen. The pace to match Diamond up there and somehow get the foot to it. That's an outstanding play once again by the Hokies back line. As much as the offense has had some good opportunities, the defense has been just as locked in today.
Here is the corner kick. So as we are just learning here in the booth, a red card was shown on Shea Vanderbosch, the Syracuse goalkeeper. So we believe Syracuse is down to 10 players right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the play-by-play for the stats as well, and it says at first yellow card for Vanderbosch and then red card. So I don't know if there was another one shown initially. Watching it in real time, I thought it was a yellow card first. Either way, we know the red card has been assessed, according to the stat sheet. So I'll just count up the players here, Evan, as we're watching the game go on.
What a key 60-second swing in this match for Syracuse, who was starting to build possession.
10.
So they are down to 10. Vanderbosch, your star freshman, off the pitch. What a huge moment in this match. Slotted through, deflected into Hargrove's hands.
So, like you said, a huge, huge shock to the system if you're Syracuse, and that's what took so long to get Michaela Walsh subbed in. They also had to figure out what they were doing with their players on the field and who to sub off there. Man, what decisions here for Coach Adams and how to decide how to line up going the rest of the way. They're kind of playing like a 4-3-2 now with their field players.
And playing with 10, obviously it changes things, but just how much from an offensive standpoint can that make things so much more difficult?
There's obviously less players to rotate the ball for you and get in positions, and they were having a little bit of a harder time in the second half anyway, just not opening up pockets of space. Really, it comes down to playing even more direct than you were to begin the second half. They do have two players who are outstanding at playing this way, though, right here with Chelsea DeMond and Fleury. Oh, and what a tangle there between the defender and the attacker.
That's Avery Visage in on the challenge, and there's a great cut. Murphy in between two defenders.
And on the other side of it for Syracuse, Virginia Tech just subbed on their starting forwards as well. So you've got to go back up against fresh starters for the Hokies.
"25 minutes left to go. Regular season ends on Thursday. This match and then another fixture on Thursday. That's it before the postseason starts. And these are two teams trying to add to its resume. Here comes Taylor Price. who leads this team in goals with 8, in contention to be the freshman of the year in the conference. Price through contact and a foul.
I thought the initial defense from Murphy there was really strong. She bodied well with Taylor Price, stayed step for step with her. And this one here, you just don't need to put the foot in. That ball probably going to run out eventually, or you just shield it. And now set pieces, this is a key for Virginia Tech.
And it's Gabby Johnson who scored, taking a corner in the first half, our lone goal. Chipped in and headed high.
That was the exact right service.
So, take you back here about 5 minutes ago. This was the sequence. Coach Adams wanted that to be a foul. It's called a handball. She gets issued a yellow for arguing. And then on the ensuing possession for Tech, there's the foul. Vander Bosch, initially the yellow, then at some point issued the red.
So if you're looking at that, there's the argument that Vander Bosch is the last player back, so it is a red card offense. Was a defender there maybe in a position to make a play? Potentially, but you know, as you look back at the replay, probably the right decision. If she's the last player back, that's a dangerous slide out there anyway. That's a straight red card. That's what will happen when you stop the promising attack from the forwards.
Well, the red card, that'll affect Vander Bosch and Syracuse in the next match.
Correct. Vander Bosch will not be able to suit up in that next game against NC State, so Michaela Walsh will have to be the one who steps up for this team.
There is Walsh. Good news for Coach Adams. I know she's got such confidence in not just Vander Bosch, but also Michaela Walsh.
Walsh has been a steady player for them. Player they were excited to see finally step into goal for them this year as a full-time starter.
One 1-0 Hokies lead. They're starting to get a couple of their key players back in as Coach Tugger Adair rested Price, Powell, and Mitchell. There you see an injured defender. It's Jenna Tivnan.
Yeah, Tivnan, maybe the ball hit her. I heard a smack as that ball came in, holding the shoulder. That one's never fun if you got like a little hyperextension or, you know, that shoulder gets popped out of place. Tivnan's the type of player who's going to play through the pain anyway. Despite the goal, I have been impressed with the Syracuse defense. If you look at Tivnan and Gillard, they've been outstanding back there. Oh, yeah, she got the boot right in the shoulder there. Excellent work from our production team on the replay to get that angle. Yeah, that one's going to sting a little bit.
Taylor Price. Murphy on her hip. Great work from Murphy all the way down the touchline. Still a corner kick.
By the way, the thing I've always appreciated about women's soccer, Tivnan gets kicked in the shoulder by an opposing player, and she just gets up and runs back into her position. I will say in the men's game, I'm a former men's soccer player, so I have the license to say this. The guy would have been on the ground looking for a call in that situation. Not so for Jenna Tivnan. I love the physicality and the just no nonsense. Yeah, I'm going to get back and play center back now.
McCarter. Haugen plays it in. Left-footed strike, and there is Michaela Walsh.
First save she's had to make. That's a shot right at her. Good footwork, positioning to get there. Hold it. Be strong with it. And that's going to feel good to get that one in her hands.
20 minutes to go. Syracuse down a player. What can they do in the final third, Josh, to try and create some chances, find the equalizer?
Need to play direct. That seems, that is really the approach you have right now. Try and play some balls to your forwards that they can get onto and hopefully get behind this back line. They've shown a couple of times that they can put that ball just directly in and take players on 1v1.
This is 3-on-1. Damon slots it through. Syracuse still needs to get numbers ahead, but that's a good service. Dangerous moment. Hargrove falls on it. That was nearly the equalizer they were looking for.
That's what Syracuse wanted. Play it over the top to your forward, see what happens. And it almost ended up in kind of a scrambling, messy goal for them. You could tell the Hokies were very discombobulated on that one.
Great pass. Can McCarter get there? She can't. Tori Powell with the right idea. And meanwhile for Virginia Tech, Josh, when you're up a goal and then the opposing team goes down a player, does that change things formation-wise for Chugger Adair?
I don't think it does for them. They're going to be comfortable in that shape they've been playing all game, which is the 4 at the back. Maybe, and a tough tackle there.
And a yellow shown to Dory Haugen.
And that one's a tough one to absorb for Virginia Tech. That's one of your center backs with a yellow card now. Got to play these last 20 minutes or so with it. I think if you are Chugger Adair, you'd probably tell your wing players, let's drop back in a little bit more and not be so aggressive getting forward. That's the right call there. Yellow card, high knee there, going right into Fleury, absorbing that tough tackle.
Starting to become chippy. There's another yellow, this time going to the Hokies' leading goal scorer, Taylor Price.
It's the physicality. We've seen a few hard tackles in a row there. And that time, Mags Thornton, a substitute for the Syracuse team, just left the leg in there. That was a late challenge. I think the yellow card is warranted on that one as well.
Yellow card earlier issued for number 20, Victoria Alvin. Yellow card issued for Syracuse was number 3, Matt Thornton.
Damon, great play out of the air to keep her dribble alive. Gives it a go with the right foot. Just about all she could do with no numbers ahead.
She's going 1-on-2, sometimes 1-on-3 against this Hokies back line, and somehow still almost doing it all herself. But she is an outstanding individual player, really not afraid to take people on 1v1 and just have a go herself. Now you see on the edge of the box, Tivnan is kind of hanging out. She put her hands up as if to signal some sort of a play. Would not be surprised the ball to go to her.
It is to Tivnan. Got a head on it. Another head just wide of the post. Best opportunity for Syracuse today.
So the Tivnan play was just, hey, give the ball to me and I'll put it back in to see what'll happen. What a good set piece there. Really well delivered. And then, oh man, almost redirected for the goal. That's excellent play from Syracuse.
And a injured player down. It is Ashley Rauch, who has really come along well here in the second half.
Rauch, a player who will play in the center of the midfield for you. Kind of keep things ticking, and she can occasionally get on the stat sheet herself. Those center midfield players are so crucial to what you want to do. They keep the ball moving, can get it to your forwards to help with the attack, and Rauch just seen so many minutes throughout this year.
And playing back in our home state. Here's another look.
This has been a tough physical game for both teams. We've seen players from both teams going down, and the physical play has continued on. And that's, I think both of these teams, just the style of play, counter, play aggressive, lends itself to a more physical matchup.
There's Coach Adams, who just had her entire team huddled around her, almost a unofficial timeout there. What do you think the message was there? 16 minutes left.
I think exactly what they drew up from that set piece. Continue to be scrappy, be aggressive. I think the physicality, you continue on with that, try and win some tackles against this Hokies back line and continue playing hard. They've almost gotten a couple of those to go in. I think it's just stay aggressive the rest of the way.
There's Coach Adams alongside Ashley Rauch, a sophomore on this team. Someone who will be a big piece moving forward here in her final 2 years, up onto her feet.
You look down the roster and so many sophomores and freshmen that are really continuing to build this program up and going to be seeing significant minutes throughout the rest of their career. I mean, as I look down the starting lineup for this team, a lot of sophomores, a lot. There's a few key contributors that are seniors, but they have a really promising outlook as they move forward. Hopefully, Rauch, we know with those head injuries, it is something you've got to be very careful with. Hopefully something that she's able to recover from okay.
On a 1-0 lead for Virginia Tech. Right before the half, Gabby Johnson, the lone goal, scores, taking the corner kick.
One of the best goals you're going to see.
And that's how we've gotten to where we are. These are a critical 3 points on the line. We've mentioned it. But this is it, the final week of the regular season. Last opportunity to pad that resume, especially for Virginia Tech. On the outside looking in of the ACC Championship, only 6 teams qualify. The Syracuse have some magic left in them here. 15 minutes to go. Give them a lot of credit, Josh, being down 10 players. They've had a couple of really good opportunities the last 10 minutes.
They've built really well, gotten the ball to their attacking players, and just stayed aggressive. This type of direct long ball, they've connected on a couple of times here, even down a player. But now they've got to be careful on transitions like this.
Here's McCarter. Great pass. Wide open Taylor Price. And the recovery, the deflection on the back line for Syracuse. Grace Gillard.
Gillard getting there just in time. We've seen both Gillard and Tivnan make that type of clearance and tackle. Price was winding up. If she had another half second, that would have been away, and it looked like a really good strike.
Trying to find Price. You know, we've seen both teams very creative today on set pieces.
Tell a lot of work on the training ground to draw something up that's just a little bit of a different wrinkle.
Great service, McCarter, in the header above the crossbar.
Price got up well on that one, didn't she? Really well met with the header. Just a little too much power.
There you see the ACC standings. That red line, that's the cut line. Tech could pick up their 4th conference win. They're still going to need help, but a win here today could go a long way. especially considering they've got Florida State on Thursday in Tallahassee.
Yeah, not getting a lot of help from Clemson right now, or I should say from Boston College, trying to get that win over Clemson that would help them out to leapfrog Clemson in the standings. And then it's just going to be tough to get past UVA. UVA at that 6th spot right now. That's one of the toughest 6 seeds in any conference tournament you're going to see.
No question about that. That's what makes the ACC so fun.
And you've got to think for Virginia Tech, those, whatever order of those 6 seeds in the ACC tournament, they're going to get the at-large bids to the NCAA tournament. It's a question of, is our resume good enough on its own to also make it in? I think there's probably 2 or 3 ACC teams outside of that top 6 that are going to make it in, and Virginia Tech certainly hopeful to be one of those. I think Wake Forest is in that conversation. Maybe one other one that might sneak in there.
You think about for Virginia Tech, too. Season opens at William & Mary. One of your experienced players, Aaliyah Skinner. So much confidence in her. She goes down. Has not played since. Lauren Hargrove might be the unsung hero for this Virginia Tech team.
Right. What a credit to this team to have those players in a position that even your goalkeeper, who's, of course, one of the most important players on your team, someone like Hargrove can just step up and be as good as Aaliyah Skinner.
I see Skinner. She has so much energy she brings. Still been able to do that, and very vocal on the sidelines this year.
Always fun to watch her interacting with her teammates. She really is a joy to be around off the field, and I think it really lifts the spirits of this Hokies team.
Under 12 minutes to go here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech with a 1-0 lead. Gabby Johnson's goal, the difference right now. Powell, Price, exits. And here comes a couple of key reserves, including Taylor Bryant and Sophie Maltese.
Going to give another shot of energy into this attack one last time. And at this time in the game, you get those fresh legs back out there again. If you're Syracuse, it's like, okay, we got to stay locked in. We've got a new line coming at us again.
Great defense from Kendall Lahr. Had that elbow out, but didn't extend it.
Good shoulder to shoulder. And Lahr, another one of these subs for Syracuse. So they're introducing some fresh legs as well. They've rotated some players out and just trying some different things here.
Bryant through the legs. Maltese, though, offsides.
Pretty easy call. Maltese just standing past the last defender there. Offside call every time there. It's kind of interesting to see Gillard go off the field. I think trying to take one of your defenders off and put a more midfield player in front. It looks like to me that Mags Thornton is a little bit more forward and will get into that attack more for Syracuse.
Damon chasing that down. Gonna roll to the corner. Syracuse offsides.
Doing a good job, though, of getting that ball into the attacking third and at least making things uncomfortable for the Hokies. Still only a 1-goal lead. This game certainly not close to over at this point. Been really impressed with Syracuse. Even down a player, to continue on like this as they have has been hugely impressive.
McCarter heads it on for Bryan. Tried to spin and turn off of Lauer, but great coverage there from the sophomore from Davidson, North Carolina. Just about 2 hours away from home for Kendall Lauer. Now here's Tech. They'll play the long ball ahead for Bryan. So good 1v1. Bryan slots it ahead. There's the deflection. Maltese had space. Weaves through two defenders, but cleared. And now here's Syracuse on the opposite end with Dahmen. It's a foot race, and Dahmen gets free. Looking for the equalizer. Hargrove knocks it down. What a moment late in the second half.
What a play from Dahmen to go on the run herself. The physicality to continue on, rides off the challenge. In that shot there, great recovery from Virginia Tech. Dahmen, really the only option was to go to that front post, and Skinner had it covered. Great goalkeeping, great defense. Dahmen has been so outstanding individually.
And what an incredibly fun matchup it's been all day. Haugen and Dahmen.
A physical battle a lot of times.
Great ball in. Syracuse. Service, and there's Hargrove. Punches it away.
What a play. Fleury was just standing on that back post, ready for the ball to float into her. If Skinner doesn't get to that, it's a wide open header attempt.
How about Syracuse and how they have recovered after the red card from Vanderbosch? This is the best their attack has looked since midway through the first half.
Playing so aggressive, just playing direct, not afraid to play some long balls and swing some in. Skinner, outstanding effort to keep things 1-0 Virginia Tech. Again, that's a free header on the back post if she doesn't get to it.
Coach Adair has said that Lauren Hargrove on crosses, one of her strong suits. And it showed there. So many forward for Syracuse right now, understanding the situation. They need a win today. They need a win against North Carolina State on Thursday. Bryan nearly intercepted that pass.
And that's the risk you take. You've only got one center back there now, kind of at this point.
Dahmen, get to touch. Great job shielding off the defender. Dahmen almost taking over here for Syracuse up top.
She's had to. She's that type of player who is not afraid to grab the game and take it all on herself. Another outstanding effort from her to win the corner kick. And we've seen a couple of good corner kick plays from Syracuse as well. Are they going to find Tivnan again to head it back into the mixer?
Another service. And the offside flag raised with under 5 to go. Chelsea Damon, though, the Northeastern transfer. These are the moments where the experience pays off for Syracuse.
She's been so much fun to watch, to try and continue take players on. And we saw her go down with that injury in the first half. When we first saw it happen, I wasn't sure she was going to be able to continue on. She gets back out and has been so dynamic for this team, and really credit to the whole team, this effort down a player.
How about Visage and Haugen there waiting for that service?
I would say both of these defenses have been outstanding in this one. No major mistakes. We've seen some tackles fly in from both of these teams. Really been a fun one to watch. If you're looking for defensive players to emulate as a young player yourself, just look at these center backs for both of these teams. Really been exciting.
Powell, Mitchell, Price come back on.
Number 25, Taylor Price.
And credit Syracuse. They've kept possession the last 10 minutes here. Hokies really haven't had any long possessions.
It's been all direct either way, kind of counter and counter, one team against the other.
Onside, Taylor Price trying to get there in time. She runs in to Michaela Walsh, and that's a foul.
Great play from Michaela Walsh off of her line. Know you might get some contact coming out and clearing that one. And well done from the goalie coming on and helping her team out.
Put into such a tough spot. Hasn't played in over a month. Started the season in goal. Has had to face a couple of tough shots, and regardless of what happened tonight, Coach Adams going to be so proud and pleased with the play of her senior coming off the bench. Now Price shields away from her defender, but great recovery from Laura on the back end.
Amazing physical play there from Price. She was watching for that ball through the entire time and then shielded off the defender. I mean, Laura was right there nipping at her heels, and great job to win the corner kick. That just shows you how even things have been, 10-10 on corner kicks.
Still dangerous. Left-footed strike. That's through! The dagger for the Hokies in their final regular season home match of the year.
And it's someone we would not expect to see get on the score sheet. Lauren Gogol, we always talk about her being an unsung player, playing defensive midfield for this team, and poking one away. Not poking, blasting one away. What a finish there from the defensive midfielder.
So much space and the confidence. First goal of the year in the 88th minute. It's 2-0 Hokies. And they can start to feel what is going to be such an important 3 points.
For Syracuse, that's got to feel really deflating. Played so well.
Virginia Tech goal scored by number 18.
I think that one really seals it up here with only 2 minutes to go.
Fleury, service, that's high. Good cross.
Syracuse not taking their foot off the pedal at all, though. It's still playing aggressive. Been impressed with this Orange team. And an impressive left-footed finish there from Gogol. And Tharrington coming on for her, so Gogol gets a little curtain call being subbed off.
Look at the bench celebration as well. First career goal for Lauren Gogol. Sophomore from Haymarket. Started to come along last year in the NCAA tournament. Price looking for more. The most goals of any freshman in the ACC belong to Taylor Price. Visage shielding. Foul on the Hokies.
And that one, she was hand fighting with Demond the entire way down the field. That's been the physical matchup between those two so often today. That's been an exciting matchup to watch. It's really been just two individual players who are good in their positions going at it.
Here's the free kick. Hargrove comes out, punches it away. And the clearance. Hargrove had a quiet start to this match, but the last 20 minutes, she's delivered.
Good punch away, good strong punch, and then Syracuse on the other end again. A great tackle in there to prevent the counterattack. Max Thornton with the slide in. Taylor Price was turning and going 1v1 if she hadn't gotten that tackle in.
It's going to be a clean sheet for Lauren Hargrove. Virginia Tech, much needed.